Yo, hello, yo. Where did yo come from? We're going to keep rolling, right. Hi, welcome to Backpacks and Bunk Beds. I am Neil, your host. Ignore this guy in the big screen for a little bit. He'll be around later. Just to explain, if you obviously know where you are, or if you've come by chance, my travel blog is backpacksandbunkbeds.uk, and today I shall be doing a travel blogger interview. And this guy shall be the subject. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is Macca Sherifi, author, blogger, writer, a bit of everything really. For people that may or may not know you, Macca, do you want to give us a little bit of Macca 101? Like, where are you now? Where did you go up? Where have you been recently? Because you've been on quite a big trip recently.
Yeah, Macca 101. I mean, right now I am currently sat in a bedroom in Essex, which is actually where I grew up. I've recently just come back from a trip through Central America and South America for the last kind of 4 months, which was great. I loved it. I was doing a lot of videoing out there and a lot of vlogging. So, as you said, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. I do a bit of vlogging, a bit of photography, and the occasional video as well.
So, with the trip, I mean, like, I've seen a few of them, but the videos were, like, crazy. Some of them were brilliant. I mean, the most recent one you did, I plugged it quite hard because I was really impressed. Because you're working, like, obviously you're blogging under, or sorry, I say obviously, for those that don't know, Macca is blogging under abritanabroad.com, which is yourself and actually 2 friends who you met through travelling in like Southeast Asia?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So I met Brian, who's our director of photography, 5 years ago in Laos. Cool. And it was just a very, like, usual kind of meeting. We just had a couple of jokes, a couple of drinks, and all of a sudden we were swapping Facebook details.
Yeah.
And over the years, I guess, I've watched his career grow and he's watched mine grow. He set up his own video production company about 5 years ago, 4 years ago in Canada. So, I've always seen his videos and he's always seen my articles as and when I've kind of like had them published and pushed them on Facebook and stuff. And we spoke to each other about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, about potentially doing a project together. And he was just like, oh, Macca, I've got an idea for us to work together. And I was like, well, funny enough, I've got an idea for us to work together. And it was the same idea, basically. It was the same idea.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, we're talking about that for a while. And then I was just like, I think it'd be better if we had like 2 presenters on camera. It'd be good if we could have a female and a Canadian to kind of have that female market and also the US-Canadian market as well kind of cornered off. And he was just like, well, I know someone who's perfect for it. One of my friends is an actress in Vancouver. I'll talk to her about it. And that's how we got Brianna on board. So yeah, the project was basically Brianna and I were front of camera, and Brian was following us around, filming everything. We got like a terabyte, probably more than a terabyte of footage in like 8 weeks of filming.
No
so
way.
it was absolutely massive. Yeah.
So, do you and Brian have met before, like the trip?
Me and Brian had met, yeah, but me and Brianna hadn't. The first time we met was in Vancouver. I went out to see them both. And that was actually our first pilot episode. We did a video on Vancouver, and that was the first time we'd actually interacted together as a couple on camera.
Well, I was going to say, like, you come off quite as if like you've been mates for like quite a while. Like, it was really like on-screen chemistry. I mean, I don't know if it's like, did you rehearse beforehand, or you just kind of you sort of hit it off?
No, we just really hit it off. I mean, we were speaking on YouTube on Skype probably for a good 6 months to a year before we actually met. So we'd spoken quite a few times. And I only feel like I look back at that first video and I see that there are cues that we both don't get. And that sometimes we trip up over each other in terms of like the voices and voiceovers. But, that's always going to be the case when you first start a project like that. And the more we did it, the
practice
more we
makes
got in sync
perfect
with each other. Exactly. And as you said, like, you felt you really liked the Guatemala video. And we felt that it's definitely our best video to date because we just really got into the swing of it by that point.
That's a cool video. If you guys at home are watching this on YouTube, check the description below and I'll put a link to the video that Macca was just talking about. Well worth a watch. Right, so with the filming, like, obviously you had quite, like, sounds like expensive equipment to lug around and stuff, and like all those like laptops presumably to back stuff up. And I mean, was that really like, because you wrote a whole post about blogging on the road, like there's blogging and there's videoing on the road. I imagine videoing on the road is a lot more, there's a lot more equipment. You've got to worry about things like insurance, like was theft a big worry kind of thing?
We would have been an absolute mugger's dream. I mean, because I had my laptop and Brian and Brianna both had their MacBooks.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot of kit there. And then, so Brian shoots on a Canon 5D Mark III.
Wow, okay.
Which is great. And then he's got, he took 3 lenses with him, a Steadicam, a slide, and a tripod. So, you know, his equipment was probably worth well in excess of about $10,000. My equipment was probably worth about $4,000 or $5,000, I think, because I had like a 60D and a couple of lenses as well. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of stupid when you kind of thought about how much we were carrying around with us. But you got to be careful. So Brian never, ever, ever let his camera bag out of sight.
No,
that's his living and livelihood. In terms of the insurance, he's got really good cover with his company. And that covers him around the world because he does a lot of travel videos with a lot of clients in Canada. His production company, Nora Vera, they're awesome. They're always up for awards and everything else. So yeah, I mean, that was very conscious of us. You know, that was my biggest worry when we're doing the project, that, you know, we're just going to get stopped and someone's just going to be like, oh, that's a nice camera, we'll take everything you've got. But it didn't turn out like that, so, you know, we're very thankful.
And doing like so I've never blogged on the road, because when I did my big gap year, like, there was no such thing as blogging or Facebook, or I'd never heard of them. And like, even now, because I do the 9 till 5, I only ever go away for maybe 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and I just go on my phone. Like, obviously you guys taking laptops and sitting down and actually writing posts and editing video. Does it feel like traveling? Is it work? Is it a bit of both? Is it, because you wrote that whole post on it, it was really interesting.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of both. I mean, the 3 of us were very mindful of the fact that this was a project. You know, it wasn't just a gap year. It wasn't just a couple of months traveling, and because of that, it was very different. So yeah, you know, we would spend a certain amount of time each day either editing or kind of writing, and you know, it was difficult because you know we'd be in a hostel and everyone else was out there having a great time, and we kind of wanted to join them, but we kind of felt that we had to do the work as well. But then on the flip side, everyone else is working back in the UK or back in Canada, and we were kind of just working in these beautiful places. So you got to have a bit of perspective with it, and sometimes, you know, you kind of like force yourself to put the laptops away and, you know, kick back and relax. It was difficult. It was a different type of traveling in that sense, but it was great. You know, we all really, really enjoyed it.
Cool. On that note, really enjoying it. Like, highlights, anything sort of spring to mind?
Yeah, Guatemala was brilliant. I mean, I kind of write about the fact that it's a real backpacker's paradise, and it really is. You've got like the history of Tikal, you've got a bit of an adventure paradise in like Lankin and some of Champay, and then you've got like the old colonial towns of like Antigua. So I'd say Guatemala's really up there. And most backpackers we met in Central America also said that. I also really liked Nicaragua. Was really cool as well, especially for like the volcanoes and for the hiking. And then I did a fair bit of diving as well. I'm really into my diving, so there's some really good spots around on the Caribbean coast. So that was for me as well.
Do you want to know my favourite Macca 2014 moment?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
For everyone watching, we while Macca was in Europe, because he went to Europe before South America, we went and did a road trip around Romania, which was really cool. We drove the Transfiguration Highway, which was amazing, and then we survived that, one of the most dangerous roads in the world. And then on the way back to the airport, with not a lot of petrol left, and following the sat-nav, Macca decides to take matters into his own hands and send me down the road with no petrol station for 100 miles, give or take?
Yeah, it was about that.
To the point we rocked up in a petrol station running on fumes, me sweating profusely at the thought of losing my deposit. And Macca just looking at me going, "Are you nervous?" Yes. I'm really quite nervous. Thanks for that.
I've never seen a man become a human puddle before. He was sweating so much. But it was so funny.
Yeah. Not all the time. No way. Alright, so Travelwise, you're home now.
Yes.
What's next? Are you settling in London for a bit? Are you taking off?
Yeah, so settling back down in London, which is a city that I absolutely love. I mean, I've done 60-odd countries now, and you know, when I went to Vancouver, I certainly looked at it with an eye to move there, and I still keep on coming back to London. I absolutely love it. For me, it's my favourite city. So settling back down in London, which is great. I'm looking forward to that. And then my next trip is over to the US.
Awesome.
Which is great. Yeah, I've got a friend's wedding in Charleston in South Carolina.
Nice.
So it's going to be really nice to do a few states that you wouldn't necessarily go to, but it's not Florida, it's not New York. So yeah, that's gonna be good. Proper American road trip and big pulled pork portions and things like that.
Running out of petrol on the interstate and
yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah. And then I think later on in the year I'll probably squeeze in a few trips. Obviously, you and I are looking to do a trip to Europe together, and then I'll probably do a big trip somewhere else. Maybe thinking somewhere in the Middle East this year. So.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it should be good.
Right. As with my old, I used to do a travel blogger series before that was like an interview series, that was completely text. Like I'd make up some questions, ping them off via email to people, and they'd send them back. It was quite impersonal, but there were some really good answers come through. But like probably the section people looked at most on that was quickfire round, because obviously the questions are a bit random and quite funny. So I'm going to hit you, trigger finger, with some quickfire questions. Ready?
Got it.
PC or Mac?
PC.
If there was such a thing as a wrong answer, that might have been it. Okay.
And you're wrong.
Right. Aisle, centre or window on the plane?
Aisle, more legroom.
Interesting. Okay. Long journeys, bus or train?
Train.
Good answer. Right. Hostel or hotel?
Hostel every time. Cheap beer, great people.
Yeah. Dorm room, private room?
As I'm getting older, more private rooms.
Yeah.
But I can still dorm it.
Okay. Top bunk, bottom bunk?
Bottom bunk.
Yeah, always bottom bunk. Top bunk's a nightmare, like, let's be honest. Right, and lastly, I know that you are a man who loves his music, so if I was to go on, say, a 10-hour train journey somewhere that didn't have particularly wonderful scenery, what is the one album I should have on my iPod to listen to? No pressure.
No pressure?
No pressure.
So can I have an hour to answer this question? Quick one, I would say Simple Things by 07. It's one of the very few perfect albums in my eyes, and it's so chilled you can just sit back, relax, and listen to that for a good hour and 10 minutes, and then sleep for the other 8 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, last one. I remember one. Macca's guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure. McBusted. Originally, they were Busted and McFly, and I loved them in equal proportions, and I've put them together, and now Busted are the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty guilty, isn't it?
That's so bad.
It's so
Right.
guilty.
Right, we've hit about 20 minutes, so I better let you go. Thank you for giving up your Monday evening. Do you want to give, because like I mentioned at the beginning, you are an author, so people should probably know about your ebook and your website, if you want to give them a bit of a plug.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. I am the author of Your Around the World Trip Planner. It's everything you need to know before you go. So it's kind of aimed at 17 to 35-year-olds who are planning a big round the world trip or gap year for the first time. And it's good. It's had over 10,000 downloads so far to date. So I think a lot of people do like it, and they seem to keep on going back for it. So yeah, you should check it out if you're planning a trip soon. And then if you want to see some of my photos or videos, we blog at britanabroad.com, and we like it, and we hope you do too.
Right, I'll put all the links to the stuff that Macca just said either in, if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a description below. If you're reading it via my blog, there'll be like descriptions and things below. And also, your right, my left. So if you're watching us on YouTube, check out all the videos that are in the related section. Yeah, and thanks for stopping by. Hit subscribe, which is, I don't know where the subscribe button is anymore, but there is one. So probably press on that, and then I'll get some more bloggers to come and, say a few words. And like, if you are a blogger watching this and you want to get involved, get me on an email, which is obviously via my website. And then if you're just someone watching who's got a favourite blogger, we can emotionally blackmail them to get involved as well if you send them an email, or me, or whoever. But thanks for watching. Cheers to Macca for obviously dropping by. And yeah, hopefully see you soon with another interview. Cheers.
Cheers.